like 2-1. 3-1 was that fantastic goal, which
amazing, amazing goal.
They haven't really they didn't really give this goal as much credit as I thought it deserved, because it's like, I mean, Kane's finish was superb, but actually there was a 23 pass build up apparently.
Yeah.
Into this game, like, and I mean, some of the football within it was fantastic, and again, to actually trigger the acceleration, I guess, of pace within the move comes from Kane, where he picks the ball up, pops it into Mora into Son out to Bale out to Doherty. Kane again is linked up with the play, and I think that was actually the first time in the whole game that I actually really shouted to celebrate a goal. So I was like, like the other ones, I was like, great, yeah, nice one, excellent. But I lost myself a little bit with that, with Kane's goal. So it was a absolute, fantastic finish. So, and then obviously, finished off with the fourth one again with Kane, and again that was beautiful football. Toby with a long pass, Mora, Lamela contributing, Sonny getting on the end of it as well. And a lot of it was one touch there.
Yep.
And then we finished it off. So that was a quick summary. So I've spoken a lot. So Andy, what were your pros from the game?
Yeah, my pros were we were just so energetic. That was going forward, we were very energetic, and of course, Lucas helped that. With God knows what he's on. He's like a Duracell on steroids, isn't he? So he just carries on, and we needed that, because all that running that Lucas was giving us was helping Bale find spaces. Bale was pulling players away, and Lucas was exploiting those spaces, and then Kane would find himself free, or Sonny would find himself free. So, yeah, I just thought it was brilliant to watch. And quite often against these low block sides, we say, we don't know how to break them down. But yesterday, I thought we did. We just used that quick play, which really helped. It was a joy to see.
Sarah. Mm-hmm. What about Sarah? What were your thoughts in terms of positives for the game?
I agree with Andy. I think attacking wise, we're sort of a threat to anybody in the league if it all runs well. And it's really nice to see Gareth finding his feet, and he's really starting to purr.
Gareth
Bale.
You and Gareth.
It's my friend Gareth. It's really I won't say that one. But yeah, it's really nice to see him finally, finding his feet and being the player that we all sort of were dreaming of when we signed him. And I think Mora is a massive part of that system in there, because he is doing the pressing. He is so energetic, and I think what he does do is he allows, all three of the others to basically do that running less, so that when it comes to going forward, they've got more energy. I don't really think we ever looked like losing yesterday, although we had that obviously very uncomfortable 5 minutes towards the end of the first half. I sort of felt like we were like in between third and fourth gear. I don't think we needed more than that, and that's really nice to see, considering the sticky patch we had, where we just couldn't seem to convert enough. And that's my only worry with this side, is I don't think defensively we're solid. And as long as we're scoring goals, we're going to win games. Yeah. It's when they dry up and when, one or two of those players have a drop in form, hoping that, Sonny hasn't scored for a few games. So hopefully when Harry has a quiet 2 or 3, Sonny can step up. And if all of that doesn't link in at the same time, we go on another bad run.
But then if you've, I think the positives or the bonus that I see from that now is that, Delhi is fully integrated back into the squad, and so, if Sonny or Mora or, Bale or whoever kind of has a dip in form, you've got Delhi that can come in, you've got Lo Celso that's coming back from injury and hopefully will hit the ground running. So in terms of the options, I think the options are there and are really good for for us to look at. And I think they do. Yeah, you're right. And I think the thing for me about Lucas is that his contribution as well as the work rate is that his decision making has got a lot better in terms of how he's running and where he's running. So for the first goal, he was running with a purpose. He was close enough to Son and to Kane to help with the press, and then as soon as can't even get his name. I know I was going to fuck it up every time, but as soon as Mihailovic, his name is,
mate, just have a little sip of whiskey, mate. We'll go down, mate. Don't worry, man.
But as soon as he didn't even take a bad touch. All he did was turn away from the play,
pressure.
Turned away from pressure, and that was where Moura pounces at that point and nicks the ball off him. So. It is that intelligent. That's intelligent pressing and intelligent running.
It is. Yeah.
We haven't really seen from Mike. I think clearly, when we were accusing him of just running for the sake of running, when he was playing out wide, we were as a pubcast, we were highly critical of Moura. We hold our hands up, highly critical of Moura last season, but. When we were highly critical of him, he was playing wide, always playing wide. End of last season, and even earlier this season, he was playing wide a lot and didn't look effective. End of last season, and when he's looking effective, it's in the hole, behind in the 10.
But I think Steve, he's effective there because he's a disruptor. He causes chaos in the middle of the pitch. When he's out wide, if you create chaos out there, it doesn't matter so much. But in the middle of the pitch, he's drawing people towards him. He's going past them. He's creating space.
He's very unpredictable.
Yeah,
he's very unpredictable. That's probably that's the good problem, of course, because he's very unpredictable for their opponents. Because he's running in place where, why is he running there? Why, you're bringing a midfield player with him.
Where the hell's he going?
But it's kind of. But the opponents confuses them as well, of course, as long as it's not going to the bench,
Or towards your own goal.
Exactly. But I think it's kind of, and when you're so unpredictable players like that, it's very difficult to be well organised in such a team because he can be all over, and that would disrupt any kind of centre midfield players who have to mark him. And I think that position is super crucial. And that gives quite a lot of air and time for the Bells, the Son, and Harry Kane. And I think it's a very crucial position because if he was not doing these runs, all the focus will be on the other three guys, and they will have less space. Less maybe free runs to where they could potentially score. And he's doing all of that. He opens all these channels, and that makes, without a doubt, a very difficult opponent to play with.
Yeah, against. I think Lamela does exactly the same when he comes on. He's full of energy. They've both been on the Lucasade. They just keep on going. And the thing is with Lamela, he's different to Lucas. He doesn't run as fast.
No.
But he does that bold.
He's more standing, passing left, right, and back. Kind of, he's not. He goes into the challenge, running an empty run. Let's say that way. To take one midfield player, we have to do that. Just open that space. For other players.
Yeah. I thought Lamela was important yesterday when he came on, and like as Sarah said, she didn't think we were ever going to lose the game, but I thought that there was a point that we were going to maybe lose a little bit of control on the game, and and at the point that Mourinho, I thought Mourinho's subs were timed really well. Maybe it could have come about 5 minutes early. I don't know, but it seemed well to me, and in the taking off Bale, first of all because he probably thought that the game was close enough to being won that we didn't actually need him, and so hopefully we conserve him a little bit with a view to Thursday. But also, I thought that by bringing Lamela on, instantly that Lamela came on, we got control of the game again, because when he had the ball, he was able to keep the ball at his feet and distribute the ball and move that ball and get it from one side of the pitch to the other, where into open space, and then follow his pass and be an option. And just like his I think that part of his game we don't often notice, how he can control and help us to retain possession.
It's a holding position. It's a holding position. It's quite a key position, to be honest, because that's one. It stops between the midfield going forward and midfield going backwards to the defence. And I think going back in terms of the defence within Tottenham Hotspurs, going forward, there is no issue whatsoever. So I was saying, these guys, one of the best in the Premier League, or even in Europe, to be honest, forwards. And we have that. It's not going to question mark. The problem is if they're not scoring, is what's going to happen in the back, And I think what I saw this season, where it's lack of not just the back four in terms of the centre half mistakes came in place, is that connection between the centre midfield players and the back fours that is still really kind of unorganised in terms of there's not a connection between these two, because the minute the forwards losing the ball, there is that big hole between that centre midfield player and the centre and the defenders,
Right.
And as a centre half, the key part with us is that communication connection with the centre midfield player or the one before that. They're screening us, If they don't screen us before us, then you're in full trouble. Suddenly you go apart as a centre half, and suddenly the minute you're 20, 30 yards apart of it, you're lost as a centre half. Yeah. You need to be as a pair all the time, make sure you're a pair. And that only works if the one front of you, the centre midfield player, works with you as a triangle as such, or whatever is front of you at that time. And that was one of the major mistakes or weakness I think Tottenham Hotspur has this season. And that's why we had some games we lost because of that as well, because we conceded goal, because of that part of organisation within the field was not well done, or there is not a well-qualified player to see that intelligence to do that.
That's interesting. You bring that up, actually, because with Højbjerg coming into the side, we have got a player who... He
would be fantastic. He done it very well.
Yeah, that's right.
He seemed the perfect person. He's the guy where... In my times, we had the Stefan Freund guy, the absolute nutcase. He was running around up, right, left and centre, but he was great. He was, you can see he was there. He was disrupting. He was disrupting the play from the midfield players, And you need these players, because once you do that you can actually organise your back four much better. Your centre half communicating much better. You can intercept the strikers. You can read the striker. But if you have to focus on the striker and you have to focus on the potential the runners coming into it, you suddenly got two. Yeah. And we think the pace of the game is even in those days. One little mistake, it's immediately goal. As simple as that. Yeah. You can't really go. So it's very crucial, that position. It's one of the most important positions, I think, within the team, and that has to be improved a little bit better. He's a great player, without a doubt. Maybe he needs to have somebody next to him, where we can actually combine, have that little wall before the big wall.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because
if you see what I'm trying to say,
Yeah, no, I do, because I think most Spurs fans see either Winks or Sissoko there. One does one type of job, one does another, but neither are doing exactly probably what we need. And
Sissoko and the physical strength and everything's great, but what I see with him, he still has the tendency to go forward too much. The discipline with such a strong forward we have in the front, it's more reserved. Stay, wait, make sure you stay in your position in case the guys at the front are losing the ball, and it's not a huge gap between that centre half and striker. You need to have somebody in the middle there disrupting, so that everybody else can actually back it up to you and help you out.
So
go on.
Do you think that Ndombele is the one who can play next to Højbjerg, or is he too creative?
No, it's good to have a creative person next to that. I think it's more a question of discipline.